This is like your Facebook Live every night, but now you just get an introduction.
No, but you guys, you can ask questions. And this audience doesn't necessarily know what I'm talking about on the Facebook Lives. Because those I just do randomly all the time now.
Okay. So I'll start. And you can leave that part in as like a, I don't know.
Did we start recording?
We did.
Oh, I didn't know that. I wasn't prepared to get my voice.
Nope. Okay.
La la. Aren't you supposed to do vocal warm-ups?
No, I'm not editing that.
That's all right. It's just
all right. And
naturally
welcome
beautiful.
back to our next episode of the Doggone Truth About Rescue. Today we have the one and only, I can't even think of adjectives to describe you right now, Jennifer Dulski.
Best podcast guest ever. Let's go with that. Despite the voters who were drunk when you did that, apparently.
Who was?
I don't know why my podcasts aren't number one.
Oh, I don't know.
The other ones are. It's very hurtful. You guys need to re-listen to the ones that I'm on.
So we have Jennifer Dulski in the house. Fun fireside chat. We haven't had you in a month or two.
Probably 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 2 months. It's been 2 months.
Like I said, a month or two. But if you want to convert it over to weeks, sure.
Okay, hold on. This is what happens when it's late at night and I'm tired and I sit with you two. So
it's for entertainment.
And it's only 6 o'clock.
You have a lot to fill us in on. We've kind of touched on it on our last few episodes of the property and the land. The last time you were on, we were talking about needing the funding.
Yeah.
So let's start there. What has happened since the last time you were on the episode?
Where do I even begin?
There.
Yeah.
The last time you were on the episode.
Yes. So I re-listened to that episode probably 2 weeks ago, and it's amazing. I sit back and I listen to and I think about what we did and what we put out there and the dream that we had, and our dream came true. And we literally put our faith into a dream that people told me you're crazy and you just see a property and you don't have any of the funds allocated for it, that we were having struggles with just our daily medical costs and so forth. And then to have the heart and the belief, and I say this all the time, the courage to simply dream and to put your dream out there and to say, to open yourself up to criticism and ridicule and jokes. And what you find is you put all that nonsense aside and you find the people who have the same heart and belief that you do. And the rally and the energy that came from the simple Facebook Lives where we talked about it and we shared our dream, all that happened was you took a step back, and that's why I re-listened to it, because you could feel that energy and you could see the dream. And I shared this too. Every time I go to the Casey Moe property, it gets more and more beautiful. And long story short, we had several amazing donors, and we can talk about our triple match weekend, which was such a cool, crazy, amazing thing where we had a donor that would match up to $150,000 triple. So for every $5 someone gave, she was going to give 15. So your donation basically quadrupled, and she was tripling her donation. In 1 weekend, we raised $300,000. And now that was what we were thinking was kind of the down payment on it. But we had a follower, who reached out to us and agreed to help privately finance. And I'll share the most beautiful thing. I talked to her on the phone, and she said, I was going to give all my money to charity, when I died, and I thought, why would I wait until I die to make a difference? And I tell you, that is the most profound thing that anyone has said to me in a very long time, because it embodies everything that we do and everything that we are. Whether it's $5, whether it's $15, whether it's $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, we can all make a difference in the little things we do and the big things we do. And what a beautiful privilege to invest in not only saving the lives of animals, but I know I say this all the time, we really are saving each other. Mm-hmm. And in so many ways I have saved myself by surrounding myself with the most beautiful people on this earth who love these animals just as much as I do. But not only that, love each other and treat each other with kindness and respect. And that's why I say, it's our people that make us special, but it's not even just our people. It's the right people and the people who share the same heart, mind, belief, and faith. And my favorite part about Operation Be Brave was, ladies, I did not get your Operation Be Brave videos.
You're gonna make me, because we do that every time you make us go live.
No, sorry. So what I did was I asked all of our followers and I asked our core team, I said, can you guys message me what does Operation Be Brave mean to you? And it's so special because that is what is so cool about this. It's not my dream. And Trish from Mississippi, your video was one of the most heartfelt, beautiful things because we touch people's lives in ways that we'll never know, and we won't know unless we share. And that's why to have the courage to share and say, I believe in you, I believe in this dream, and I'm a part of it, even if I'm states away, even if I'm countries away. Australia, we know you, we see you. We've got Singapore out there, Canadians, we've had Germany, New Zealand. We are all over the world on a belief that the little things in life, not only do they matter, but they are everything. And so it's how you treat these animals every day. It's envisioning shelters not being death rows and unbelievably awful environments. It's seeing it as suites and play yards and an opportunity for us. And it really is viewing it as a privilege to care for God's animals, not a chore, not inventory, because they really are all souls. So
sorry, I hit a button and I don't know what it's doing.
That's okay.
Going back on what you were talking about, because I can pull up the stats from our podcast, we are in 9 total countries.
Awesome.
Of listeners of our podcast.
That's amazing.
I would love to. Can you pull that from Facebook?
No. Oh, yes. Yeah, you can pull it.
Okay.
Yeah.
To compare if how much those match up. But 222 cities.
Crazy cool. It's amazing. It's just people bonded by faith. And
are you still accepting Be Brave videos? Not for us, but for listeners?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because our fundraising has only just begun, you guys. And that's kind of why
let's
we were
talk
there.
into that. Yep.
Yeah, so we were there on Sunday, and everything starts with a dream, and you've got to have the courage to put it out there and the faith to follow through and the work. And so we're going to purchase the property. We put an offer in, it was accepted, and we closed June 26th. I know, it's
live claps.
Thank you, live claps. Gosh, where do you even go from that? So this Sunday we went out there and we looked at it, and so there's 3 big buildings. All right, so the best way to describe it is like when you walk in, there's this kind of like training event center. Like we can have our volunteer orientations there. We can have birthday parties. I see a little auditorium where we can put a podium and have a DJ there and have just people gather. Everything about Always and Forever is community and seeing shelters as a different way, because we're all in this one life together, right? So we might as well get through it and have a little fun and love these animals that for however long they're in our care, every single day we make their life matter. And it's whatever you put into, you get out of. So you put love into it, love's going to come out. I know Juanita, she wants line dancing there, so we'll have line dancing with the pups. We're going to have a little cat. Square dancing. We can do square dancing too. We're going to have a little cat cafe and like a little kitten area there and a catio. We'll have furniture outside. This is the time where you guys, it's time to dream. And because it's all of our dream, share it. Share it on these podcasts. Share it in the Facebook groups. Put your Be Brave out there, because it doesn't happen without all of us. And when you put good things out, good things come back. And it's so, so exciting. And I know when I first started this, there were people apprehensive of everything. But big rewards require big risks. And so you have to risk it all. You have to say, this is worth fighting for, and this is worth believing that this can be done, and it can be done better. Were you going to say something?
I was sorry. Just like those side comments, and that's why you don't gamble.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I do.
That is why Jen does not gamble.
No, but it's calculated. It's what is it worth? And that's I shouldn't gamble, but I do every now and then.
So Let's talk about the renovations of why, like, what is now the new goal for fundraising?
You know, it's funny, Rob has the patience of a saint. He's our contractor. And for the last 3 years, we put him through the ringer of this is the plan. No, this is the plan.
Conditional use permit.
Redo
permit. That. Getting bought this property over here.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm like, okay, Rob, give me a hard number. What's this? And if you've ever worked with a contractor, they won't give you a hard number until they get 1 million bids, 1 million design plans. And ultimately, if today we need a dollar amount to do it completely everything as we wanted, my guess would be about $5 million. Don't get overwhelmed at that because we can do this.
Does that include the veterinary clinic being on site? Okay.
Yeah, so we'll have a just picture a vet center on site where we can care and love for each of our animals. I've shared this before. The one thing I selfishly want is for any of our animals in the ICU, for someone to stay with them, especially what I want to do, and I know this is further down the road when we have the funding, I want to open it up to the public and let it be run just like St. Jude's. What is it, St. Francis, the animals?
I don't know that one. My immediate mind, I grew up on Grey's Anatomy, of when they opened up the free clinic portion part of it.
Oh, what happened?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Was it a fail?
No, it was very successful. But they had like a separate part for the community to come in for like
that's exactly
those things.
It. So many people love their pets and they can't care for them. Name a person who has $8,000 sitting in their bank account for a foreign body surgery that they eat a what's it called?
Underwear.
Underwear, yes. Kelly Fry, you need to share your underwear story, please. That's when you get on the podcast next, you need to share that. It's so good. Maybe I should have put it in context like that. Now she's going to clear this. I don't know if Kelly's watching. I got sidetracked.
She will be.
We just have comments. We have a lot of Indiana, Colorado, Oklahoma, Texas, St. Louis, and then Jess Haven saying, I need to see a video from Cy and Sheila.
Yes, for your Operation Be Brave.
Okay.
Because really, guys, it's what does it mean to you? There's so many definitions to it, and I really do believe it carries into everything when it comes to our rescue. It takes courage to go against the norm.
Outside of sitting on that side of the counter.
True. I know you're brave over there.
I am.
But that's the whole thing. It takes courage for everything in rescue to wake up every single morning and know that you might not be able to save them all. But if you save one, it's that starfish story. You know, the story of the starfish. It really is. Every single soul that you save is grateful, and it makes a difference. And it's what you focus on at night that you carry into the morning. And it is very, very easy to get down and frustrated in rescue because it's hard. It's unbelievably hard on the soul, and you get weary and you watch it. But what we have with Always and Forever is you have people to lean on and pick you up when you fall in the dirt and you keep tripping and your face is covered with mud. And sometimes people sit with you there if you're not ready to get up, which is, in my opinion, even more beautiful than kind of picking you up, is the grace of giving you time. And the one thing that I didn't share that this audience might not know is, as I was doing these lives the whole time, I was doing it every single day, and then we knew we were going to get it. So I was like, okay, how do I share that we got it? Because I've got to make it inspirational or amazing, and I had so many emotions going on in my head and my heart, and just completely full of gratitude. And I thought, maybe I should go to KCMO and film it, do a live there, maybe a banner. And then I planned nothing. And it's 5:00, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a live, and I'm not going to speak. But like 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, there was a trend on Facebook or TikTok, something, where people would hold up words and then flip through the cards. And so you would tell your story to music. And I thought, that's genius, because you'll hear your voice in your head, because this is not my dream, this is our dream. And I thought, I'm going to make these cards and flip them up, and then I'll just pick a random song. And I had just bought an Amazon Echo, didn't know how to use it. And so at the last second, I was like, I'll just put it on repeat. So I carried it in there, and I said, Alexa, play classical music song on repeat. And so it just picked a random song.
Just classical music song? One song?
one song on repeat. That's all I said. And what happened, it ended up being a song called Believe by David Tolk. And I didn't even notice the name till later. I'll share that part of the story. But so I wrote, it took me about 2 minutes tops to write the words that I wrote. And this post is pinned on our Facebook page with the words of that. But my handwriting is absolute garbage, and I can't even read my own handwriting half the time. So, and I had a printer that was running out of ink. So it took me literally an hour there were 80 cards, okay? And one person wrote on the post, well, you killed a lot of trees. I hope it was worth it. It's like, you know what? It was worth it because I saved the cards. And the ink ran out halfway through. So I was sitting in a frantic panic, with a permanent marker tracing everything. That took a legit hour, and I'm like, I'm going to go live at 6, and I made the announcement and all this pressure, whatever. And
you do that a lot.
Yeah, I thrive under pressure, so it's fine. And so I was like, okay, I finally got it down, and I hadn't flipped through it to practice it. Literally 5 minutes before I messaged Miranda and Joe, I'm like, hold on, if I do a live and hold up words, they come backwards. So nobody would have been I would have been flipping through it and all the words would have been backwards. So I'm like, shit. And so
we have to put explicit on the episode.
It was worth it. So then it's 5:55. I knew people were expecting the live because I said big announcement. And so I just did it really quickly. I did one take. And of course there were flipping typos and the grammar was off on some of them, but I didn't have time to redo it. And it actually was 7 minutes of flipping the cards. And as I was doing it, I knew I had to record it because we couldn't do it live. So I'm watching myself. I wasn't watching myself, I was reading the cards to make sure that I read it slowly as if somebody else was reading it. But as I read it, I started to get really emotional. So you literally can watch me reading it in the reveal with your own voice and sharing it. And all I can say, it was 7 minutes of the most heartfelt gratitude and love I could have for a world of supporters here, this country, all over the place. And then I had to drive to Price Chopper. I sped over there because my internet wasn't working. And so I'm like, I promised it at 6 o'clock. Everybody was waiting. And then I posted it in Price Chopper. It uploaded, and just all the comments of love just started coming. And it was the most amazing night of, I know I've said this so many times, just gratitude. So, and then you go from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. That was actually the first night that Josie did not sleep with me, and I didn't think anything of it. She wandered into the living room, and I was so tired because you just get emotionally spent when you go in these incredible highs. And then the next morning, her belly was swollen. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I thought, I just knew. And I called Blue Pearl, and it was 10 a.m., I think, something like that. And I brought her in, and it was so cute because the staff there was like, this is the cutest little gremlin I've ever seen. I've never seen a little boxer. And I wasn't crying then. It was just quiet. And I was like, something's wrong. So I knew something was wrong. I could feel it. And I had the thought in my head as I was driving there, I'm like, I don't know that she's coming home. And you just push all that down. Like, you just swallow it. And they took her in the back, and they're like, we have to do an ultrasound. And it was an hour. And they're like, I knew not to leave. So I went to the Planet Fitness right down the road, and I just started walking. And what was interesting is I always put classical music on when I'm worried or sad or anything. It just calms me, and that song came on. And I noticed it was Believe, and I just put it on repeat. And I'm walking, and then I got the call. And, her cancer was never gone, and a mass had come, and it had erupted. So I went back to Blue Pearl, and, I I don't know why in the world they did this, but they put a little bell in there, and I knew it had to be a goodbye because it was only the kindest thing. But they said, ring the bell when you're ready. And I thought, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because it puts it on you to ring the bell. Thanks. But I am one that holds on hope forever. Literally, you tell me there's 18 million % chance that she can survive or can survive, but if there's just that one tiny, tiny, tiny speck of hope. But in this case with Josie, there was none, and she was suffering. So I had the song playing, and I just played it to her, and I curled up with her, and then I ring the bell. And you're a different person without the ones you love physically beside you, but you're better for it. You're better for her love, her joy, and she waited, and she gave that to everyone. She gave it to me, she gave it to you guys, she gave it to KCMO, and she gave herself, because I wouldn't be me. I couldn't have done these lives. I couldn't have shared that energy with people. And oh God, I got lost without her. I got lost without her for a few weeks, and I still don't feel like me. And I know that sounds funny. I like your shirt, by the way. It's cute. No, she's retired. I do. I just noticed it. It's cute. But she was just a little tiny boxer who was dumped in the country, and I knew she was meant to be with me.
When you first found her, you said to me, I found your next dog.
I did. I lied to you.
You did.
I did. I'm very glad I did. But you know what? You would have loved her. You could not help but love this little gremlin. And I always have a test to know if they're my dog, because I let them free in the pasture and see if they run away. I know that sounds terrible. They're usually really old, so relax. And but no, she stayed by me, and she didn't give any signs that she was suffering, and she was. And God, I bought the RV to run away from Libby's death and to avoid that pain, so we would have adventures together. And I had nowhere to run without Josie, where I couldn't feel that pain. And so what I did was I shared it on our Facebook Lives. I shared how much it hurts to live without someone you love, whether
it's so relatable.
Yeah, and it's okay to hurt, and it's okay to share that you're hurt, because these are souls. And she made my life a million times better. And I would take all of this heartache, a million years, to have one more day with her, and if not, just to have the memories of her. And I still come home and it's empty. I've got Z, I've got 2-week fosters that turned into 5-month fosters. So
that's another story.
That's another story. But
I think we have our cover dog.
We do.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so somebody suggested, one thing I want at KCMO property is a chapel, and we have to raise funds to do that, but to dedicate that to Josie, because just the song Believe, she embodied that. Just believe that life is worth living. And all the beautiful cards that people sent me, and the little gifts and memorabilia, so touching. How many, and also just the acknowledgement of how many people go through it, and sadly people suffer alone in this grief. Grief is ugly. People don't like to talk about it. People are afraid of it. Social media, if you're not going through it, and if you're not our followers are amazing, but nobody wants to hear about the hard stuff. They want the joy, the restaurants, the food, the happiness.
Or if it's after a certain amount of time, of say a week or something passes, well, you should be over it by then. Oh my
gosh, I will never forget when Sam died. I think it was 3 months after. one of my friends was like, "You don't seem like you're getting better." I was like,
I'm
my
sorry.
world just ended. I can't even breathe, and you're worried. I just unfriended. There were so many people I unfriended or blocked. And you know what? It's part of life. You find out who are your people when you go through your lowest times, and who you can share things with. And I guess there's a fine line of what you should share and what you shouldn't. And I say this all the time. I know I've said this on here, but no one ever tells someone who's happy not to be happy. So why would you tell someone who's sad not to be sad? Equally important, recognize.
Because we all experience it.
Yeah. And if you don't, you just build it up and bottle it up, and then you explode on people in other ways. And we go through so much grief in this rescue with the ones we love just from a picture. And we can't say, I will tell you, the messages today, there were a lot of dogs lost. And it's not because rescues weren't trying, there's no space. And that's what KCMO is. And that's why, if you have $1 million, if you have $2 million, if you have the $5 million, this is the opportunity for you to make a difference. It doesn't even matter if it's $5. Every single dollar goes to saving a life, and not even just the animals. I have to stop crying.
No, you don't.
It's the people.
We just talked about
I know.
that.
Well, if you want me to finish this podcast, I do. So that's why just doing this is healing selfishly for me, as well as others who have, like I shared, the most beautiful hearts out there. I am so blessed. People always say, I think people think I might work for Always and Forever. I don't. I am just a volunteer, but I'm the luckiest volunteer there is, because every morning I get to wake up and love and care for the 19 dogs at our little red barn, and to see how many people pour their heart and soul into this. And I will be our staff's #1 advocate, because nobody works harder than the staff.
No.
I tell you, the walking the dogs, holy cow, my body can't handle that for 8 hours. I can't. I don't know how they do it. Our staff are heroes. Our med team, our vet team, our drivers, holy cow, what they do. It's amazing. I'm so honored to be a part of such an incredible network of good people. So
Let's talk timeline.
okay, did I answer any questions? I don't
You
think I did.
usually don't. You just talk. But
Okay,
that's why we
that's
like
fine.
these episodes, because I don't have to have any questions. But we know topics we want to
Yeah.
talk about.
So money talks, and money makes things happen. Money makes saving lives possible. So that's why, guys, keep sharing the posts. It really is true. Look at what we did just from the triple match weekend and things like that. It's amazing, and it's not selling anything. It's believing. It's voicing that it's using your voice to be their voice and saying you can make a difference. And so timeline, it really depends. Let's say if we had $5 million tomorrow, we'd have to get the plans together and the permits, and there is still going to be a tenant on the property till probably December, but the event space training side we can do. Now you have to put the HVAC in there and things like that, the sewers, the drains, so there is work to be done there. And then my goal is to have all the funds raised and have construction to start January 1st. And then it's just a matter of we have the funds raised, and it should be a month or two, because it's not the buildings going up.
Right.
It's the kennels, and it's the cat lounge, and we're going to have a big agility center and the vet center. It costs about $300,000 for all of the vet equipment. So if one person wanted to have the vet center named after their beloved animal or their family member who loved animals, that is something that we could do with respect to that. And then I'm excited about the kitty corners and the FIV kitties who are so overlooked by other rescues. And it's just, again, it goes back to saving the lives of the animals that nobody else wants. And not only saving them, it's not enough to just save them. It's love them. It's make every day count and make them know that their life mattered. So January 1st, 2025, all we need is a couple $1 million.
But
That's
the
all.
property has been closed on, correct?
June 26th.
Okay.
So we're going to have a big grand opening that weekend. And so that Friday we'll be out there. We'll have campfires and s'mores. And then Saturday, Sunday we'll have open house. We'll have music. We'll have dancing. And we'll have food. It will just be such a good time to get together where we realized our dream. This never would have happened if this podcast didn't exist, if the lives weren't possible, if people, I'm dead serious.
I know you are.
It's true, because you reach an audience, and that's what we do, the ripple effect. Guys, it's amazing. And I only see a glimpse of it, but I was thinking to myself,
Ooh, I'm going to interrupt you quick.
Go ahead.
Joseph said memorial bricks would probably raise a lot of money.
we are going to do memorial bricks there, absolutely. So we've got a tribute walkway on our website. So if you want to purchase a brick, I think it's like $75 or $150. You just have to designate the location if you want it at the Little Red Barn, if you want it at KCMO, or we're going to have yellow bricks for the Land of Oz. And so we are going to have yellow bricks. Yeah, so that's going to be exciting too. And there's just a lot of really good things ahead, and it's okay to be excited. Share your dream. I know I've shared this multiple times. I read every single handwritten, typed out, any letter or note that ever comes to Always and Forever. I have saved every single one since 2018. I've got a big wicker basket. If you write to me, I read it. Share your dream. If you message me, I respond. It doesn't matter. This is us. This is our dream. This doesn't happen without all of us. So however you want to be a part of it, it's time to get excited, because someone sent me a beautiful letter, and I forgot your name, I'm sorry, but she sent it, and she did $310, and she said $10 for every acre, 31 acres at KCMO, for all the Josies out there that are waiting.
Oh.
And I thought, that's exactly it. These are for my Josie, your Josie. It doesn't matter which one, Lily, Bailey, Libby, Muggsy, it's all of them. Any soul, Tobin, who is now in a loving
I love his post.
Oh my
the
gosh.
biggest smile on his face all
so
the time.
Much. And Tobin waited so long, and that's why that I've shared the story. Like, it really is never too late for happily ever after, but you have to work for it. Mm-hmm. God doesn't give you anything you don't work for. You have to believe, and you have to put the work in. And that's what KCMO was about. It was about being brave enough to dream, being brave enough to think it was possible, and then just to do it, to put it out there, to put your faith in action. And I think we can do a short episode on that, because I think this is what it was. It was just...
Are you saying that this is a short episode?
Yeah, I think we can wrap it up if you want.
Jen, we're already at...
Yeah, I could keep going.
This is
my
a short
point.
episode for you.
Yes.
We're at 35 minutes.
Yeah, but you need to speak on Lee's front porch.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Thank you for the reminder, Sai. This is why we message each other throughout the day.
Dreams in action. So our merchandise is at such a beautiful little boutique, and owner who's been wonderful supporter of us is at Lee's Front Porch, and they're closing down, and I think the store might go for sale. So we are looking for property to have our merchandise. So if you have a little storefront, or if you have a spot that you could help put our merchandise available, or if you want to be a part of our retail team, we always need help with that. And you never know. I even said, what's the building for sale for? Because it's such a great spot in downtown Spring Hill. And then we were just, okay, here's what I love. So I just said, okay, is that building for sale? How much is it? And it's $475,000, something like that. And Judy's like, oh, we could put a cat cafe there. And
I
I'm
was
like,
thinking
oh
something
my
with
gosh,
cats.
how cute would that be? A little cat cafe and T-shirts. But here's what I love the most. I love that Judy dreamed in that message. And then she apologized to the board. She's like, I'm sorry I put that out there, because I think she knows when you put things out there with us, miracles happen. But guys, dream. It's okay to dream. Be excited. Put it out there. Who wouldn't love a little cat cafe in Spring Hill, Kansas, to stop there, see our merchandise, have an orientation there, have little group meetings. We could have our podcast there, whatever we wanted. But that was my favorite part of the story, was Judy dreaming on that. And I loved it, because dreams don't come true if you don't put them out there. That's it. They will always remain a dream.
I love it.
So
this was a whirlwind of an episode. And it
was. I didn't
It usually is with you, and I never know what's going to happen next, but here we are.
And that was what was so cool about 2 months ago, listening to our other podcast, because it was just like so exciting to just dream. And then Look what we did. Look what
I
we did.
can't wait for the Cat
together.
Cafe to open in Spring Hill.
Judy,
Kansas.
we're ready
Thanks,
for the
Judy.
Cat Cafe. And then
We'll look back at this episode.
to all our lovely neighbors who are protesting us in Spring Hill, get ready.
Anything else?
Oh, there's so much more. And I know I do share this all the time. Every day it changes. You know, you never know what direction God is leading us, but it's the same mission. It's the same core values. And if we're not a rescue that you can physically volunteer with, you can remote volunteer with us. Or if you want to physically volunteer, go to one of your shelters, go to your rescues. But I will say this until I die. Know who the leaders are. Know what their mission is. Know what they stand for. Know where your finances go. Always and forever invest in not only the people, not only the animals, but the people too. And that's so, so important.
I'm just laughing at some comments.
Oh, did Judy respond? Is she watching? Beth W., I know you'll be excited about the Cat Cafe, and Shelby would too.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
And I'm not we all know I'm not really a cat person, but
I
I'm
never
excited for
was,
that.
but now I am. I
Here
don't
we
think
are.
Bianca will be invited. So,
No.
thanks to Christy, we just watched Bianca bitch slap me.
Again, explicit episode.
To anyone that watched the Operation Be Brave Lives, I had to wear my ski goggles.
Is that one pinned?
It's not pinned, but we can
Okay.
share it on here. And because I knew if I try to make her do something she doesn't want to do, then she gets really angry. And I'm like, I had announced I was going to do a cat episode. So I'm like, I need to wear the goggles because I don't trust her. And sure enough, within 30 seconds, she slapped me across the face. And I had my goggles on and she got me. But I was smart. Safety first. Safety first, everyone.
Anyways, so we already have our dog of the episode. We're gonna put Josie on the cover, but there
girl.
is there any dogs or cats the most in need right now that you want to promote on the podcast?
I would say the most in need is Evelyn. She is a senior little pity mix, came from Wichita Animal Shelter, and we should have a Wichita
follow up on what's
with
happening.
me and Kelly. I
Okay.
think that would be a good one.
She can tell her story.
Yes,
Yes.
Kelly will share her underwear story.
About foreign objects being stuck in a dog that needed removed.
And what
For
were we just
context.
talking about before that?
Wichita.
Evelyn came from Wichita. She has severe separation anxiety. She needs to be with people, so she has to go to a home with other people that live at home. So, she's so sweet and wonderful, but she has anxiety if you leave. She doesn't want to be in the crate. So, she'd just be such a good one because the old ones, they have my heart. And I'm not ready yet for another one, but someone out there is going to love her. I know it.
Absolutely. And we had Roma who had that.
Roma had
Similar.
that so bad. Yeah.
And she found her.
She found her
Forever
people.
after. Yeah.
Yeah. We
It
should talk
might
about
take some
Danny
time.
on another episode. See, there's like a million things I could talk about. That's why I said this is a good episode because I'm not talking as much.
Very focused,
Thank
somewhat.
you. Feel very proud of myself.
Anything else on these two topics?
Again, it just goes back to thank you.
Okay.
Not to anyone specific, but to everyone. To you.
To you as
Sai. No.
Yeah.
I am the lucky
Viewers.
to our viewers, to everyone that has had the courage to think that animals deserve more and the courage to dream, because it's scary to dream and change is hard, and it's hard
all
to
know
step
that's
outside
right.
your comfort zone. And what we do every single day,
That's right.
I'm the lucky one. So that's why I will always just say thank you.
At some point, you should do, I don't know why this gets in my head. I would love for you to write cards for Hallmark
I should. I could be good at that.
with like dogs on them of like,
We
I
could
don't
do
know.
that. We need somebody who's an artist to draw it, and then I can make up things.
I would be entertained.
Thank you.
Sell them at the cat.
And you can sell them at the Cat Cafe.
Yes.
See, this is why the three of us could not get together.
Yes, that would be great. Cat Cafe Hallmark cards from Always and Forever with quotes
Featuring the dogs, featuring
and
quotes by
Operation
Jen.
Be Brave. Yeah, with random thoughts,
Yeah. Sure.
life thoughts. I mean, I've learned a lot. There's so much more to learn, and that's the most important part of us. If we aren't learning, we aren't growing. And to accept criticism and to
I just went through that.
accept
That's hard.
challenge, like the easy stuff, anybody can do.
I will say you're very good at that. I just went through that at work. I sent out a survey to some of our league operators, and somebody was like, well, you should put a box in there for feedback. And I was like, ooh, I don't know. And they're like, put a box in there for feedback.
You got to think about where the feedback is coming from. Is the feedback coming from good intentions to help you? Is it coming from keyboard warriors, which is sometimes on social media, or is it coming to hurt you? So think about where the feedback comes from that. And when you open yourself up to critique,
It's hard sometimes.
it is hard.
But it results in
and
better.
it's always
yes.
an opportunity to
Yes.
self-improve.
I had to change that narrative of I need to hear the feedback to make things better.
It's so important, and I will share.
You've always been good with that.
I've made mistakes. There's no denying it, and when I know them and I recognize them, I take full responsibility for them.
You've also done very good with that.
So, well,
You've
still-
gotten better with that.
Yeah, let's start with that. I wasn't always good at that. I wasn't, and I hate confrontation. Confrontation is hard. Somebody has to make the decisions, and I can do that now. I couldn't always at the beginning. You have to find your feet. So start where you are, build your confidence. How do you gain confidence? By doing. Don't wait. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. So start with the belief that you know that you can do anything. Because who's behind you?
We're behind you.
God and you. But
Yeah, him too.
God is always on your side, and he's never gonna ever leave you in your worst times, and he's gonna bring you and all of you to make the impossible possible, and is only impossible if you never try. That's the bottom line.
I think we end on that. That's a beautiful message to end with.
Yeah.
On you, Sai.
As always, it's never too late for a happily ever after.